As a startup founder, it's your job to turn your business into a profitable organization. This means more money needs to come in than goes out. That's what we call creating a profit. In my first startup, we generated €1 million in the first 12 months of existence. And yet, we made every single mistake you can possibly imagine. So my goal for you today, I want to provide you with the 5 rules of thumb that you need to follow in order to build the ultimate sales machine. If you follow these rules, you will succeed. If you don't follow these rules, you will fail. So here we go. Hi everyone, my name is Ben. I'm a founding partner of We're Developers, one of the largest developer platforms in the world. And sales is my passion. I've always loved connecting with people and engaging with clients. And I've been doing this for 10 years, driving sales, driving performance, and acquiring revenues for companies. And I've been through pretty much all the pitfalls you can go through. I've made all the mistakes you can do, whether it is in leading sales teams or in doing sales myself. And I want to help you avoid these pitfalls. So I've compiled a bunch of insights that I want to provide to you today in order to make sure that you avoid the pitfalls and maximize your revenues as fast as possible. As a founder, you are the first salesperson of your organization. You will learn and you will experience how to perfectly pitch your product, what your customers want, how to make them happy, how to exceed their expectations. This is knowledge that you have to transfer to your sales team ongoing. This is not something that ends once you have a sales team. Don't think that just because you have a sales team, you no longer have to do sales. It's not about the revenue. It's about keeping aligned with the target market. This is your responsibility. You have to make sure that your sales team is performing at their best potential, and you need to show them how to do it. What you need to understand as a founder and as a sales leader is that your sales is highly dependent on and interconnected with all the other activities in your startup. Sales is dependent on your product. Does it work? Is it up and running? Does it have the key features that your customers expect? Sales is dependent on your pricing. Is the price level right? Is it too expensive? If it's too expensive, you can sell all day long. You're not going to have the results because why should your customers pay for a product that's way too expensive? Do you have B2B marketing? Do your customers know who you are? Have they heard of you before you call them? If these aspects are not considered, there's no point in selling. You can have 1,000 salespeople. You can be doing millions of calls a day. It's not going to work. So what I'm trying to tell you is make sure that you fix the things in your organization that are negatively impacting sales. Unless these things are fixed, they will always have a negative impact on your sales results. So focus on sales as an interconnected part of your startup and make sure that everything that affects sales within your organization and within your reach is fixed before you start building up your sales machine. When you're hiring your first sales team, there are 3 things that are super important. First of all, hire seniors. With senior, I mean hire people who have at least 5 years of experience in the industry or product segment that you are selling. In the beginning, you don't have the resources to train juniors, to teach them how to sell, to teach them how to manage your time. You need to start hitting the floor running with a team of experienced sellers who know how to organize themselves, who know how to sell a product, who know how to pitch a product to customers and how to close deals fast. When you're hiring these seniors, make sure you get references. The number 1 mistake I made in the past, I didn't get references. And you know what? Salespeople really know how to sell themselves. They're not just good at selling products, they know how to sell themselves. So make sure that you speak to the people that have worked with these candidates in the past, their previous superior, their previous colleagues, their previous collaborators, or even clients. Call these people, tell them honestly, listen, I have this candidate, she's interested in working for me, what can you tell me about her? Is there anything I need to know? Is there anything you can tell me about her performance? Did she reach her goals? Did she reach her goals continuously, or were there ups and downs? What do I need to do in order to provide a good environment for this person? And then you'll get a bit of a feeling of who this person is and whether they really fit into your culture. Why do they need to fit to your company culture? Because you will have ups and you will have downs. And especially in these down phases, you will need to have a tight-knit team of people who support each other, who think alike, who behave in a way that they are appreciated by the others in the organization. Especially in these tough times, you will need people who fit together, who respect each other, and who have a common sense of understanding. If you don't have this, you'll have a lot of conflicts and you'll have people leaving your organization because you let someone into the company who simply didn't fit in. When you're conducting the job interview with your candidate, make sure that you really test whether they are able to sell your product. Make them role play. Give them the fact sheet of your product, sit down with them, you're the client, they're the seller, put them on the spot and let them sell the product to you. Give them challenging situations. Give them a client who doesn't know they need the product, or a client who doesn't have an internet connection. That's what happened to me when I interviewed for Google. I had to sell AdWords to a shoemaker who didn't have a website. Super challenging, but these are the situations where you really get a feel for what the candidate is able to do. And the best way to figure this out is by doing a role play. If you want to build your sales machine, you need to establish a culture of continuous learning and improvement. On a bi-weekly basis, you should be doing a training session with your entire sales team where you're doing role plays, where you're talking about challenging situations with clients, where you're talking about responses to challenging questions asked by your clients. You should make this a routine and have something in place that happens at least every week or at least every other week, so that your sales team gets together and tries to focus on really improving the sales organization as a whole. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, are your best friend. We've all experienced this situation. There's a startup, there's a revenue goal, we want to make X million euros. How are we going to make it? Oh, we have 5 salespeople and 2 people doing research, and we're going to work really hard, lots of hours, and then we're going to make it happen somehow, magic, right? Yeah, the reality is magic doesn't exist, but you can calculate and estimate what it needs in order to make these X million. So let me give you an example. How many calls can one salesperson make per day? What is the conversion rate from calls to closing a deal? And lastly, what is your average deal size? If you multiply these 3 numbers, you have an estimate of how much sales one single salesperson can do in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. Multiply this by the number of salespeople you have, and you have an estimate of the annual turnover you can make in 12 months' time. So you can go to your CFO and you can say, listen, in order for us to make X million euros, we need X number of people, and they will cost me X euros. So you can really use this calculation, use this very simple math to draw up your budget, to draw up your forecast, and to estimate how much money you need to spend in order to achieve your revenue goal. If you want to build the ultimate sales machine, you need to create a cult. You need to create a cult in your sales organization that will motivate the out of your employees. How do you do this? How do you motivate them? If you want to motivate someone, you need to show them the deeper meaning behind their work. So take We Are Developers as an example, a startup that I co-founded. If you're a seller at We Are Developers, one of the key products you're selling is job ads. Now, you could say selling job ads, it's not the coolest thing in the world, but at the end of the day, what are you making happen? It's because of you that a developer at one end of the world is being connected to an employer at the other end of the world. This is something that really motivates. So connect the sales activity of your sales team to the impact they have on the world. How are they making the world a better place? This is something that will make them get up in the morning and want to go to work and stay motivated in sales.